So all of those who are concerned and going on and on and on about the recent hoopla about the lawsuit against Roblox for predator stuff, well, I have shared in other videos that there was 3 class action lawsuits against not just Roblox but Fortnite also, and it was for various things, but that include sexual exploitation of children. And so basically I think Roblox is trying to make some changes, but they're not actually acknowledging that they did anything wrong at the same time. And you've got some just really just perverted stuff that little kids, you can go to any big YouTuber and you can go to any kind of game that has voice chat in it, and you're gonna see little kids using voice chat. And yes, they're going into games that are supposed to, there's some that's 18 plus, but making a lot of them that's 17 plus is not okay, because, and like I think it's at least 10 states the sexual consent age is 18. And so basically soliciting little kids, or you know, not protecting them. Like, for example, this is SIMS4, and so I went to AI to have a conversation about the age verification that this particular mod called Wicked Whims used, which is basically pornography. And I'll give you an example. So this is a link that was to a video that even described Wicked Whims, and it's not even allowed on YouTube at all. That gives you a hint, right? So here's the thing about SIMS4. It was made a free base game to download. And to download, basically you go to EA and you get an account and then you download the game. But there are older versions of the game that you don't even go through the app. Okay? And you would get it like on a disc or whatever. And the mods are a separate thing, because you get this Wicked Whims is basically making things pornographic. I'm not going to go into the details of it in this particular video, but it's definitely pornographic, okay? And so all a kid has to do is go to the website and simply download it. There's not even a warning they have to be 18, even though technically the mod is supposed to require that they be 18. So I ask, how does it verify? And Google AI tries to act like, oh, they use verifications, but I'm sorry, all you have to do is go to Google and type Wicked Whims mod for Sims 4, and this is the very top thing in Google search. And you go to it, and this is what it takes you to. And this is what it takes you to. There's nothing about you have to be 18, okay? And I'm not going to go down all of these because of what the descriptions that it talks about in here. But there's nothing even saying that you have to be 18 on this particular page, right? So when I go down here and I'm like, no, 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 and I'm correcting, this AI, and I'm saying, look, I just checked the website where you can download the mod, and there's nothing there. So it goes through and checks all the links, and I say, why does the Wicked Whims website have an age restriction? Blah, 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 tells you why. And so I said, I just Googled it and clicked on the website, and there is not even an age warning, okay? And so it says, when you Google Wicked Whims, says you are correct. When you search for this on Google, the top result links directly to the mod's website, and this website does not have an immediate or prominent age warning or verification process upon entry, okay? And so this is not okay, and this is EA allowing this. So not only that, but how they present. Now this was from back in 2021, as if there's no problems with this whatsoever. It says, yes, Wicked Whims is safe to use. You will not receive any form of punishment from Electronic Arts, Maxis, or Sims communities as long as they allow for adult content. Okay, so, but again, when you go to their website, there's no warning that you have to be an adult. And there's no age verification process. So this is what it says. Somebody asked EA, hey Sims, so I was wondering, I was doing a little research about mods, and I wanted to know if you download the Wicked Whims mod in Sims 4, will you actually get banned and not be able to play the game? Or is that just a myth? Because I would really love to know. And here's what it's saying. That this is, I believe, taken out of context too. Hey there! Thanks for getting in touch. You're absolutely free to use any mods you like that will not result in any bans. like saying that will not result, like any mod you want, doesn't matter. But that's not actually true. It says, look, what is the Sims Twitter referring to in this tweet? When this basically said, these types of mods have deeply disturbing content. Like somebody was trying to say that what they were talking about was the Wicked Whims, but it doesn't identify which one. There's a lot of different mods, and some of them are really horrible. Like, you know, they will look at a mod and they were like, okay, well, this is not okay, so we're going to ban this mod. And maybe the users is using it or creating it or whatever. And so it says these types of mods, it doesn't say which one it's referring to, have deeply disturbing content and are not authorized by EA, and their use violates our user agreement. If we detect players using this kind of mod content, they will no longer be able to play the game and will face permanent EA account bans. So it doesn't say which one it's referring to, because it doesn't like tell you what conversation thread that it's coming from. So people are like, but they're telling, you know, this person who's the creator of this particular mod is saying these types of mods have, you know, it's repeating that and saying that, look, that's not, they're not talking about Wicked Whims, which, you know, they weren't, because Wicked Whims is, you know, an allowed mod from EA. But EA could care less on the age verification, and that's a problem, because, well, EA is the one who allows sexual content in a game that, you know, for 13 and up, basically, it's teen rated. And it should be 18 and up because of the stuff that's allowed in Sims, you know? Anywho's. And now, see, the thing about playing the Sims game is you don't have to participate in any of that, anything sexual. It's like the player has the options, a lot of different options to participate in. But recently, they're forcing stuff onto even young players. Let's say it's teen rated, but, you know, let's say if somebody's 13, because that's where teenage life starts. Okay, so you have grown adult Sims walking around little kid Sims, which is not supposed to be allowed, in the nude. Of course, it's blurred out, but it doesn't matter. It's still like a process of grooming a child. And it's okay if adults walk around each other naked. Like, that's not okay, right? And doing woohoo stuff in front of kids. That's happening. And it's not the player causing it to happen. It's like townies doing it, right? Oh my gosh. Anyways, so it's just, Sims bottom line should be an 18 plus game. Really, it should be. Because in 10 states, at least in the 9 states of America, that you can't have sexual content. It's like rated R movies, if it has, you know, even cartoon rated R movies, because it has, you know, sexual content in it. It's rated R for a reason. And those standards and those principles and those laws apply to, you know, it should apply in games also. So this comment here is not even appropriate, and I don't know what, whoever responds to EA help is just like some, I don't know who this person was, but just to make this comment that any mod is okay is not even an appropriate or correct statement by EA. Not any mod is okay, because obviously from this one here, which was in the same year, this was November 9th, 2021, and this was February 2021, so it kind of sends a different message, a conflicting, you know, contrary or whatever, because it's saying right here that, you know, they will ban people from inappropriate mods. So I believe that the legislators and the lawmakers need to get on to Sims and demand that Sims is going to be made an 18 plus game. And I don't care how many people that makes mad. I care more about the safety of children. And you know darn well that little kids are playing this game. They're not, like, people that are like, I'm not going to call anybody out, but you have sponsored YouTube people who are now adults, and a lot of those have said they've been playing this game since they were little kids, because, you know, anyways. So, and it's up to it's up to parents to make sure that their kids aren't playing stuff that's meant for adults, you know, but there's responsibility laws for websites, and Google making this website, the very first link that you click on, you can go ahead and try it, when you type these words, this is going to be the top of it's going to be right here. It doesn't say anything about 18 on the front right here, and when you click on it, it will just take you to this, and there's absolutely zero zilch nada about, you know, it. I'm not even going to go down there, but and even on the page itself is like, this is not appropriate for a little kid to see, right? And so it's just, there's nothing like warning, you have to be 18, right? It's not there. You click on any of one of these, and there's not going to be any warning. What that's just going to take you to the... So they make like thousands of dollars a month, you know, for being the creator of this mod. And I'm sorry, I just think that there should be an age verification. So if you, let's say if you go through their Patreon, okay, and so basically you like scroll down here, and all you have to do is click on this right here. I'm not going to download it because I don't use this mod, but I'm just saying, all you have to do is click on it. It's that easy. There is no age verification, and I think parents all over across America should know about this, and the legislators should know about this. And I'm not like trying to start any beef with people. Like, I'm just saying that, you know, there just needs to be more protection of kids. And so that's what they've been going on about YouTube. That's what they've been going on about, you know, Roblox is like the big one right now going on, that you have all these different games, and like they didn't even have it appropriately age required. And you have this voice chat where you're supposed to be a certain age before you can even use voice chat. And you've got all kinds of little bitty kids using voice chat. And you'll see, like, you can go to a video and watch. And I was watching just a video today where I think he said a swear word or something. Or he said it was a word. It wasn't even a swear word. It was just like he was just asking a question. And I think I don't know, it had a word that, for whatever reason, they gave him a warning, okay, about, you know, things that you can and cannot say. But at the same time, the guy who was talking, he was old enough to use voice chat, and he was surrounded. All the little avatars around him was surrounded by little bitty kids. And you can tell there wasn't a filter, there was little bitty kids. And yet none of the voice AI stuff was catching the fact that little bitty kids was using that voice chat. And so it's just so inappropriate. Oh my gosh. And then all these big YouTubers who make sport and make it for entertainment, they have these crazy games on Roblox about making their content, and the title of the video is making kids cry in Roblox. Because, you know, the game is about stealing other people's, you know, items or whatever that they've, you know, obtained in the game. And so little bitty kids, we're talking like little kids crying who have like teeth missing, they're like preschool, kindergarten age, and they're just bawling because they don't have the concrete development in their mind yet to really understand. You know, they have no business playing that game. So there's a lot of games that little kids should not even be playing. Those should be 13 plus games, because they just don't have that ability to logically think, you know, that yes, people spend a lot of money in that game too. They're making like hundreds of millions of dollars a year off that game. And so, and people are mean, they're bullying, they're going to these little bitty kids, they know they're a little kid, because the kid is literally bawling. And first of all, why does a child have access to voice chat? That you can hear him crying, okay, and some of them are using text, but there's those kinds of videos are all over YouTube. They're showing these little kids' voices crying, and the title is, you know, making kids cry in whatever the game is titled. And these big YouTubers have millions of subscribers, are just like making entertainment out of it. And YouTube allows abuse of little children like this. And parents should be held accountable too for even allowing their kids into games like that. And this is why 14 state attorney generals have filed class action lawsuits about exploiting little children, abusing little children, bullying little children, causing mental health problems with kids, causing addictions with kids, and sexual exploitation of kids. All of these things that kids are not being protected. Yet they're not going after YouTube for making money off of these big YouTuber channels that are making it entertainment to make little children cry. It's disgusting. And so, you know, I'm just going to keep on, and I don't care if YouTube shadow bans my whatever videos because they don't want to be like, you know, talked about. I don't care. But I'm asking you to share this video because I want other people that may be not aware of all these different things, but that's what I've been doing for a very long time, is reviewing games. And so, you know, I've seen a lot of games too. I don't just have a little kid that's going in and playing games, and I know just basically what I've witnessed, involving the little kid. I have researched a lot of things and reviewed a lot of different games, and I'm very aware of what's happening, and I have collected evidence over the years, and I have an entire database of stuff that I've collected to share with lawyers and to share with attorney generals and to share with lawmakers. And I don't care who that makes mad, because I just think it's disgusting to just bully little kids, and I don't think it's appropriate for little kids even to be in games with adults, especially when it comes to competition, games that are competition, because it's like the developers are also grooming little kids, or they're giving favoritism to big YouTubers. For example, I watched a video today of a big YouTuber who said in his live stream, I'm not going to call him out, he basically went over and he stole a child's item. Okay, the game was basically making sport of stealing other people's stuff, but he stole from a child. This is a grown man, well into his 20s, stealing the item from the kid because, just because that's fun, right? But then, and this is what was so wrong, he said, the developer just messaged me that if anybody takes my stuff, you're going to get banned from the game. Okay, that's where stuff is. That developer should be banned from Roblox permanently. Okay, because that developer is helping YouTubers to, that's not a fair situation, because you're basically, when somebody steals, and that's, I guess, the object of the game, from a child, which basically they shouldn't be in the same game together, because the age gap or whatever, but then to tell them that if you take my stuff, you're going to be banned from the game, when the game is about taking stuff from other people, and, like a competition, and using different tactics on the ability to grab each other's stuff, the different tools that you use. It's about strategy, and you know what I mean? But developers telling a YouTuber, and he's live streaming saying, if you take my stuff, basically, if that kid went over and tried to get his stuff back from him, he's going to be banned permanently from the game. That's the kind of stuff that is basically exploiting children, and that should be considered criminal. Literally, that developer should be just removed from Roblox. People who act like that and give favoritism and harm to children, that's not fair to kids to do that to them. And I've seen it used in other ways, where developers who are trying, it was almost like grooming, and I've shared this in other videos too, where they're basically making it to where there was one thing that I was participating in, and basically this guy, he's wanting the kids to call him father. It was really gross, and he's surrounding himself with these little kids, and he's basically making it to where deliberately setting up traps for the people who's competing, who are also spending money on different tools to help them, in the race or whatever it was, and yet he's surrounding himself with little kids and helping them to win against other players, because he liked having these little kids. It was just so creepy and so cringy, and they don't recognize that that's a form of grooming. They don't understand, and there's just so many creepy, cringy things. I could literally write a book about what's going on YouTube, and just a lot of creepy little, oh my gosh. Anyways, so it's horrible that these lawmakers are just now, this attorney general from Louisiana, I'm okay, maybe she wasn't aware of it before, okay, but, it seems like it's just for the politics, because it's, midterms, whatever, they're just trying to, it's the Democrats, and, they're just, I don't know, they do need to take action, but I'm just why are they only going after Roblox when there's all kinds of other stuff to go on? And then you have Chris Hansen, and he's speaking out. He's the guy who went against predators, but they're only going after predators who are players, not the developers who are creating games and making money off of games and trying to rewrite the legal age of consent, sexual consent or whatever activity, in violation of states' laws, and just not holding the corporations accountable, at all. And so then you have, these other people, these YouTubers that, who have a long time, they've complained about different things, they'll point out stuff that's creepy and cringy on Roblox, but at the same time they're playing Roblox and they're basically encouraging people, giving away Robux. They're basically pushing Roblox while at the same time recognizing that there's creepy, cringy, and criminal stuff going on. They're making millions while little kids are being exploited, and then they're also making sport, and they're abusing little kids, okay, by having developers, ban them if they do basically what the YouTuber did, like to try to steal their stuff back. I mean, there's just a lot of problems, and it's really up to us. I don't have any interest in any comments about it's up to the parents. Yeah, parents do have, responsibility, but they can't know absolutely everything that's going in. And to make comments like that, it's almost like you're trying to support the corporations and that they don't have to have any kind of accountability or guidelines or laws that protect children. And I just find that revolting, because these are the types of laws our lawmakers, they fight for, and we should support them. And we should support people advocating for that. Obviously, parents have responsibility to know what's happening with their kids, but that does not mean that developers have no accountability. Obviously they do, because that's what the law says, right? Anyways, that's enough for this one, but I just want parents who have their kids playing Sims to be aware, that they're supposed to be, this is only for adults, but it's really easy to download. There's no age verification, and EA does not even require. EA needs to require that they have a very stringent age verification. Now, at least if they have that, then that does make it up to the parents on if their parents are not paying attention to what their kids are downloading, then they've done their part, right? But like I showed you, there's nothing. There wasn't even any warning. And it makes it super easy. There's no, you have to type in your age or anything like that. Nothing. And EA doesn't care. All they care is about the money they make. So we, as people, we have to do better. Okay? Anyways, that's it for this one, and I hope you have a blessed day.